Okay, good morning. I show 0700. My name is Paul Carlos. I'm the Planet Section Chief Trainee for Incident Management Team 1. This is the operational briefing for the west zone of the Dixie incident for September 5th, 2021. I can get everybody to turn your phones down, take any sidebar conversations outside of the briefing area. I'd appreciate it. We'll start off with the Lassen Forest Fire Chief.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bill Miller. I'm the Forest Fire Management Officer and Fire Chief here at the Lassen National Forest. It's my honor to offer you our thanks for you being here today, and for you all being here for the duration of how long it has been that you've been here. It's been a haul. It's been a very long haul. It's unfortunately my duty also today to recognize the loss of one of our Lassen firefighters. Marcus Pacheco has been a firefighter for 33 years. He spent 13 years with CAL FIRE in numerous units, the El Dorado, the Almanor El Dorado unit, the Lassen Modoc unit, the Butte unit. Moved over to the Forest Service and started on the Plumas. Came to the Lassen, went to the Modoc, and came back to the Lassen in 2016. He was an assistant engine captain for us, served off the Almanor Ranger District, and served well. In addition to his time with the federal agencies and the state agencies, he was an avid contributor to his community. Marcus was a volunteer training officer for the Litchfield Standish Fire Department. He was an avid contributor and participant with the Lassen County Search and Rescue units. He went to the mobilization for distributing vaccines when that emergency came up. And he's served his community in a lot of different ways. He served us in a lot of different ways. Marcus is a brother of ours, and after 33 years of service, I'd like to say thank you to him, and I'd like you all to keep his family, both at home and on Almanor and on the Lassen and all those places he's touched, in your hearts today. I'd like you to keep that in your minds when you're out there today working. Remember why you're here. Be thoughtful. Be mindful of what you're doing. Take care of yourselves and each other, please. And if you would stand, please, for a moment of silence for Marcus Pacheco. Thank you, Marcus, and thank all of you.
Thanks, Chief. And we'll move on with the incident update, night operations.
Good morning, Magnus Johnson, Incident Management Team 1, Night Operations. Branch 9, up in Division Kilo, up on the Ice Mountain area. We had a little bit of action yesterday with the winds blowing back and forth, being not erratic, but not consistent. They're working on that, cleaning that up. Oscar, November, and Papa, everything's staying right in there where it needs to be. They're still actively going after it and cutting out. Quebec and Romeo yesterday had a little bit of action and worked the drones both in Quebec and Romeo to seek out all this any new spots. They identified some of the ones that we already had, and so they're working on that. They did have calls for service in the Westwood area, Lake Almanor, 36 and 89 area, down through the Janesville branch and all the way down into the Junction group. It's still just coming down off of the escarpment. It has got down to the dozer line in the Junction group, just below what they call the mark, or the Hurlong Junction Road. It's at the dozer line, slowly moving across there. brings up a point. 395 is open to the public. 395 causes looky-loos now that it's down there. We all have to be cognizant of the fact that the motoring public doesn't always pay attention. We as professional drivers need to pay attention. There's no reason for exceeding the speed limit on anything that we're driving on. That be contractors, that be fire personnel. The only ones that got a latitude is the law enforcement because they have a job to do. So everybody needs to watch their speed wherever you are driving, even if the road is closed. Okay? With that, end of report.
There have been no changes to our management control objectives. If you need to, you can refer to the 202 in your IAP. Weather.
Morning, Ben Bardis, I'm Ed, swapping out with Derek Willems, who is heading home today. Weather is going to be hot, dry, and smoky today. That's the message I want to impart. So we're looking at temperatures a little warmer than yesterday, up at elevation, looking at mid to upper 80s, down in the valleys here, especially around Susanville and Camp, low 90s. RHs, we started out pretty dry this morning with overnight recoveries really not happening. We're expecting min RHs this afternoon to drop down to about 10% or so, some areas reaching down into the single digits, so hot and dry. We've got a pretty stagnant weather pattern in place, so the smoke we've got that's come in the past day or so, expect it to stick around and have a generally smoky day that could help mitigate the temperatures a little bit there, but still expect that heat to kind of ramp up a little bit today. Winds, as kind of alluded to a minute ago, were pretty squirrely, those terrain-driven winds yesterday, especially on the northern part of the fire. Expect that again today. Mainly terrain-driven winds, about 5 to 10 miles per hour at the most this afternoon. One exception to that is ridgetop winds. We do expect to get up to around 17 miles per hour, so it's a little stronger of that prevailing west-southwest wind at ridgetop, but otherwise expect those squirrely wind patterns throughout the day. And lastly, since I am taking over, any weather obs, if you look at the phone number on the bottom of the weather page of the IAP, that's a new phone number for my phone, so if you could please start sending obs to that one, very much appreciated. Thank you very much, and end of report.
Fire behavior.
Good morning, Don Watt with Fire Behavior. So as we heard today, we have the smoke cover. Smoke cover will help moderate that fire just a little bit. The big thing to remember is we're starting to dry out. So we've had this spotting issue on the top side. With the low RHs, bad recovery overnight, you'll still see that spotting potential. Even though we're shaded out a little bit, it's not going to help recover any of that overnight this rapid. It's going to take a longer time. Big thing to be careful of is when this starts opening up and if you start seeing sun, you'll start getting more fire behavior. A lot of the fire's looking pretty good. The big thing, like I've been talking about the last couple of days, we're here for long duration. That overstory that didn't completely consume is starting to fall to the ground. It's creating a new fuel bed. So anything that's hot anywhere in here eventually could pop up. And if we're going to be here for a long time, like we are, especially with little rain in the future, those will continue to create problems. So as you're mopping up, make sure you're looking for any of those hot spots that has overstory that could cause a problem down the road. The other area to be careful of, we've been talking about this for days. Right now you have smoke shading over the Honey Lake Valley area. If that starts to clear out in the afternoon and you get good heating in that valley, you will see those downslope winds coming off the escarpment and wanting to push that fire. You do have some benefits. It's creeping down that slope. It's eating some of that ground up. If you do have fire that starts picking up back here in between the old Beckworth and ours, and it starts heating up and start feeling those winds coming down the slope, you can expect some fire to come down that slope a little bit harder. And that's where we start seeing those erratic conditions. So just be heads up today where you're working. Make sure you're watching the weather and have a safe shift.
Operational work assignments, operations.
Good morning, Mike Wink. Before we get into the operational assignments, just a reminder, here at briefing, you gotta move with purpose when this is over, okay? Get to your vehicles, get out to the line over the couple days. I know we've been here a long time, It's kind of get into the rhythm and maybe aren't doing everything before briefing. Shouldn't be anybody in supply or over at lunches, or shouldn't be a big line over at breakfast after briefing. All that should be done before. Need folks to move with purpose, get out to the line, get that shift in here and get going. There's still a lot of work to do out here. So here in branch 9, continue all the efforts. All the public's going to be back in there. There's a lot of things that are going to be issue until deep into the winter with moist areas. Answer those calls for service. We monitoring command, move around and help each other out in there. This is a big piece of line that you guys are doing tactical patrol. Good job, keep it up. Up here in branch 13, they're continuing to work in the park with mechanicalized equipment and all the options they have up here to go direct and indirect and keep this thing boxed in. All that's going well. Again, below Old Station, primary, secondary, contingency, and additional lines around all those values of risk. That's looking real good. Now they're working on the egress, ingress corridors, and that's going to continue for the duration here. As we come over here into branch 16, for many days we talked about the piece moving to the east, towards the Hall Road, towards the highway, towards the train tracks, all that stuff. Everybody's efforts and all of your efforts held it on the Hall Road with multiple spots for multiple days. And then it decided it wanted to change and go to the north and then start pushing spots out that way. So you got it pinched off here, and now for a couple days, it's been throwing spots to the north. You didn't give up. You kept after it. They're holding those spots, building those secondary and contingency lines up to the north, as well as continue to evaluate on the other side of 44 until we get this all contained. Continue those efforts in Silver Lake and on these dozer piles. Get all that heat taken out of here. Making good progress. Thank you. Coming down here in the Westwood sector on this Highway 36 corridor, same message. Anything that you can see is what you're doing that tactical patrol, answering those calls for service. The efforts continue. Down here into the Janesville branch. It's going to take a little bit longer to talk about this piece, okay? We are working and supporting the East Zone down here in Janesville branch, okay, along the 395 corridor. You heard Night Ops talk about that the fire has come down to the dozer line. The dozer line at the toe of the slope on 395 is anywhere from 6 to 10 blades wide, and there's multiple sections of that at the toe of the slope, at the power line easement, and down at the highway. So those groups and branch and sector, as soon as we can today, they're going to fly that, because our mission today, we've built a box down here from Milford at the motorcycle track down to the Beckworth along the toe of the slope. Our mission is to hold that while we work with our cooperators and our partners over here in the East Zone and figure out exactly what the plan is. And hold it on that dozer line. It's slow creeping fire in the grass, very receptive to your efforts. Keep it there on the grass. We are not firing anything on 395 or on that dozer line. Nobody is doing that unless you see me face to face and I give you personal permission. That is not happening. Okay, we are working with the East Zone on that plan. That may come together, but that is not your mission this morning. Your mission is to hold this box from the motorcycle park down to the Beckworth, okay? We're gonna move a bunch of more tractors down there, so we have surge capacity just in case something changes, and we have that show of force along there. There's gonna be a lot of people watching what's going on, and your job is to nurse that along. Once again, be on command 30 for the East Zone, monitoring that. Their East Zone air-to-ground TAC, air-to-ground command. We're going to be supporting these efforts down in here as we continue to also hold this direct line on the top piece on the backside of the escarpment all the way down to Heavenly Valley, okay? Yesterday's efforts is an example of there is no can't, there's try harder, okay? Up here, limited resources chasing multiple spots. Never gave up. They kept after it, building a secondary line. Thank you, good job. Number one priority right here today, no give up. There's no try, there's no can't, there's try harder. Same thing down here. Not a lot of historical dozer line coming off the escarpment. Couple days trying to figure out, talking to the local leadership, how we're gonna try to box this piece in. Picked a ridge, pretty difficult, didn't work out the first day. It was like, okay, what are we gonna do? 3 D8s off the top, 2 giant excavators for the bottom, and they laced that piece of line together above the motorcycle park. So great job. There is no can't, there's try harder. Please have a safe shift, get out there, hold that box, get those spot fires put in, get the puzzle pieces put together, have a safe shift.
Sector, branch, and divisional roll call, resources.
Good morning, Jordan Weber Resources with your sector, branch, and division roll call. When you hear your name, please stand. Starting with the Shasta sector, Fields. Here. Branch 9, Smith. Here. Division Juliet, Ibarra. Here. Division Lima, Riley. Here. Branch 13, Clemec. Here. English, Trainee. Here. Division November and Oscar are briefing in the field. Division Papa, Palmer. Here. Shasta Contingency, Stornetta. For the Lassen sector, Prather. Branch 16, Felix. Division Quebec, Rivers. Division Romeo, Swope. Division Sierra, Shaloub. Lassen Contingency, Turman. Trainee, Cooper. For the Westwood sector, Irma Garrett. Riley. For Westwood Group, Hunter. For Janesville branch, Walton. Here. Milford Group, Grendal. Here. Antelope Group, Whitchurch. Here. Junction Group, Frederick. Here. Lassen Fire Suppression Repair, Hauser. Here. Thank you. Have a safe day.
Air operations.
Good morning. Matt Hill, Air Operations, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 1. For today, fixed wing. Air attack and tankers as needed. Visibility is going to be a challenge. For rotor wing, we have 16 water dropping helicopters. That's 13 Type 1s, 3 Type 2s. For 24-hour ALS hoists, we have guard 841 and 820. Air to ground command is for divisions and above, and then everyone else, air to ground TAC. Please monitor, clear the drop zones when working around aircraft, and make it a safe shift.
Communications.
Good morning, John Aguilera, Communications Unit Leader. Today, Sunday, September 5th, 2021, there is no new radio clone today. The last clone on this incident was August 24th and 25th. If you're new to the incident, please come by Communications and get your radio updated and clone. For the 205s for the West Zone, it'll be page 38 and 39. On page 38, you'll see a change on there. Command 57 is reassigned today. That'll be used on the northern side of the incident up in branch 13, and also will work in the new spike camp up at Hat Creek. Please refer to your 204s. It's imperative you look at your 204s for which command net you're assigned for the division and branch you're working in. Also, C47 on that same 205 on page 38 is still unassigned. Your 205 for the East Zone will be page 40. There is a map on page 41 that's been updated to reflect the changes that occurred today. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please come by Communications. Have a safe shift.
Medical.
Good morning, Sean Lowry, Medical Unit Leader Trainee. If you turn to page 42 in your IAP, you'll see the ICS 206 medical plan. As you can see, we are pretty thin on resources as far as fireline EMTs and medics. We do have an additional fireline EMT that will be working up in branch 13. As well, we'll be handing out a fireline BLS pack to a safety officer working down in the Janesville branch. We are asking all division supervisors to establish, pre-identify your ALS units as they might be needed within that division. Down in box 8, you'll see all the information that you'll need for the IWI reporting. As well, we have the laminated pocket cards in the back there. Please have your PACE plan pre-identified, your primary, alternative, contingency, and emergency plan. That'll help locate, access, treat, and transport that injured personnel. Lastly, September is Suicide and Behavioral Health Awareness Month. I'm asking all supervisors to check in with your personnel and ensure they are healthy, both physically and mentally. Thank you and have a safe shift.
Safety.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Brad Niven with Safety. We talk about it a lot, but driving. There's a lot of areas that have been repopulated, a lot of areas of evacuations that have been dropped to warnings that have been dropped to no advisory at all. The folks here that live in these communities are trying to get back in, see their properties, see what's going on. Anticipate that. Plan your operations around those folks out there on the roadways. If you've got to move your staging area a mile down the road to get off the road and everyone be safe, then do that. Also, be courteous. If we're out there driving on the road and you've got a big old line of cars behind you, pull over and let those cars by. Let's be courteous to the folks who live and work in these communities. Next, COVID. We talk about it a lot, but it's here. It's in camp sometimes. If you're not feeling well, go right over to Calumet and get tested. It's simple. Lastly, as medical mentioned, Suicide Awareness Week. There's tons of resources out there available to you. It's okay. Whether you're dealing with depression, PTSI, reach out, get help. I did, and that's why I'm here today.
Information.
Good morning, Natasha Fouts, Public Information Officer. If you'd like to join me on page 51, I have some updated numbers for you. Our current acreage is 893,852 acres. We're at 56% containment. Our total personnel is 3,803. If you come across any media out on the line today, please refer to the media line, give us a call. We'll do our best to get a PIO out to you. We also ask that you continue to adhere to the CAL FIRE and Forest Service social media policy. You can refer to the QR codes for more information. If you have any pictures or videos you'd like to share, we ask that you come over to the PIO trailer so we can vet those for you. We still have lost and found and are receiving packages at the PIO trailer out at front by Weed Wash and Fuel. Thank you. Have a safe shift.
Final comments, Unified IC.
Good morning, George Juan, Deputy Unified Incident Commander, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 1 with the Forest Service. Marcus Pacheco, as Bill said earlier, our hearts, on behalf of Team 1 and CAL FIRE, our hearts are heavy. We share the pain and the song, and we are going to honor him just as any other agency because we are one agency. He worked in CAL FIRE and Butte, obviously in Alaskan Modoc and in AEU, so a brother from the Forest Service is the same as us, so we will honor him just as anyone else. And please take that in your thoughts today. I want to move on and talk about look up, look down, look around. As we know that on 8/23 in Oregon, we had a firefighter fatality for a tree fall. A branch hit him in the head, and obviously a fatality suffered out of that. On 8/7, early on in this incident, one of my good friends from the San Diego CAL FIRE unit, a tree came down and injured him as well. As I look around here today, I see good friends of mine. I see Felix sitting there in the same seat pretty much almost every day, Deb, and a lot of folks that come to this briefing, along with our operations folks, that sit in the same seat and listen to the same message over and over. But how often do we look up, look down, look around? That's the key question. Hey, Captain Cooper, do me a favor. Can you stand up, please? Hey, do me a favor. As we talk about look up, look down, look around, check underneath your seat. Lift it all the way up and... All right. So, coffee's on me. But it's one of those things that we go in the same seat, we sit around, and we have to pay attention to our surroundings. See, there you go. Pay attention to your surroundings. I truly say, you know, we go into the same division, the same operations every single day, the modes. Pay attention to what's going on around you because day 54 of this incident, it gets old. But at the same time, we still have a fire to fight. Continue to go out there. All the work that you have done is paying off, and we need to continue to work forward. With that, honor Marcus. Have a great day.
Next operational briefing will be tomorrow morning, 0700. Unassigned resource in the back where you got IEPs this morning. Breakouts are off here to your right side of the briefing area. Thank you and have a good shift.